Okay, happy Friday. This is our last lesson for the week. It is also an extension of yesterday's lesson. We're going to finish solving equations with variables on both sides. Remember that yesterday we had 4 steps, so take a minute, pause the video, and see if you can remember the 4 steps. Okay, there are your 4 steps. Please copy them down or make any changes that you need to your notes, and you can pause the video while you do it. Alright, looking at these 2 examples on the bottom, remember our step 1 is to simplify both sides. Simplify means get rid of parentheses and combine any like terms. Well, if you look at both sides of these, there are no parentheses and there are no like terms, so both sides are simplified. We can skip on to step 2. Step 2 tells us we have to get the variables on the same side, and we're going to do that by moving the smaller variable. We have a 4y and a 6y. The 4 is obviously smaller. Because it's a positive 4y, we're going to do the opposite, and we're going to subtract 4y from both sides. The 4y's cancel. That leaves 15. 6y minus 4y is 2y minus 11. Now we have a regular 2-step equation that we need to solve. We're going to do that by adding 11 to both sides, which gives us 26 equals 2y. The 11s are gone. Divide by 2, 13 equals y. So pause the video and take a minute to finish and check your answer. I also want you to pause it and do example B on your own. Okay, here's example B. Negative 2 is smaller, so we're going to add it to the other side. 2m plus 2m gave us 4m. Add 3 to both sides, divide by 4, you get m equals 4. So you can pause the video and check your answer. Okay, if we look at example C, we see that neither side is simplified because we have parentheses on both sides. So to get rid of our parentheses, we are going to distribute. On the left side, we are distributing a positive 4. So distribute 4 to both sides. 4 times h is 4h. 4 times 2 is 8. On the right side, we're distributing a 3 to both sides. So 3 times h is 3h. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Now, we do not have any like terms to combine, so we can just move our smallest variable. Our smallest variable is 3h. It's positive, so we're going to subtract 3h from both sides. 4h minus 3h is 1h. Bring down the positive 8. On the right side, the 3h's cancel, and we have negative 6 left over. Next, we want to just subtract 8 from both sides. Negative 6 minus 8 will give us h equals negative 14. Pause your video and do example D on your own. Okay, if you look at example D, first of all, on the left side, you're distributing a negative 1. So all that does is change your signs, makes it negative 3x, positive 15. Get your variables on the same side. Subtract 30, divide by 15, you end up with x equals negative 1. Okay, let's look at example E. The left side on example E is fine, so we can leave it the same, 18 minus 6x. But the right side, you see we have parentheses. We have to get rid of our parentheses first. We're going to do that by distributing the negative 4. So that 4x is just going to come down, and we're going to distribute negative 4 to both of these terms. So negative 4 times x is going to give us negative 4x. Negative 4 times 3 is going to give us negative 12. Now, we've distributed, but we also have like terms to combine. So again, the left side stays the same, 18 minus 6x. On the right side, our 4x minus 4x cancels out. We do not have to put the plus 0. We can just bring down the negative 12. We don't have to move our variables over because we only have one variable, and that's on the left side. So just solve it like normal. Subtract 18 from both sides. Negative 6x equals negative 30. Divide by negative 6. So x equals positive 5. So a couple of things you have to be careful of. First of all, distributing this negative 4 up here. Secondly, when these two cancel, you do not have to put the plus 0, just bring down the negative 12. And then you can solve it like normal. So pause the video and solve example F on your own. Okay, look at example F. After we distribute and combine like terms, we end up with negative 8m minus 4 equals negative 8m minus 4. Well, if you move your variables over to the same side and add 8m, we see that our variables cancel out. Do not put 0 in. Do not do that, okay? It's just a 0. There's nothing left. So those cancel out, and we're left with -4 equals, those also cancel out, -4. Now, there's 2 special times when this happens. The first one is if all your variables cancel and you're left with a true statement like this. -4 does equal -4. If you're left with a true statement, then the answer is all real numbers. Now, you can write that in 2 different ways. You can write all real numbers, which that just means that any number I plug in for m, I'm going to get an answer. Or the shortcut is to make a capital R with an extra leg on it. That also means all real numbers. Now, the second time that this could happen is if, let's say, all of your variables cancel out, but you're left with a false statement like 2 equals 12. Well, 2 obviously does not equal 12, so this would be a false statement. If all your variables cancel out and you're left with a false statement like that, the answer is no solution. And again, you can write the words out, no solution, or you can use this symbol, which is a circle with a line through it. So those are 2 special cases whenever all of your variables cancel out. And if you're left with a true statement, the answer is all real numbers. If you're left with a false statement, the answer is no solution. Okay, take a minute and read example G on the back. Now, underline or highlight important phrases in here. First of all, we have 6 times. Well, 6 times what? 6 times the sum. Anytime you see the sum or the difference, you're going to have parentheses involved, okay? So for 6 times, we're going to have 6 times the sum of something, okay? Well, what are we summing? A number. If we don't know what that number is, we make it a variable. You can choose whatever variable you want. So 6 times the sum of a number and 3. So that's what we're adding. We're adding that number and 3. Is, in math, is always means the same thing. Is always means equals. Okay, be careful with this next statement. 12 less than 12 times the number. Okay, you've got a lot going on there. Now, 12 less than something. If I tell you that I have $5 less than 20, you are not going to do 5 minus 20, right? You're going to do 20 minus 5. So the less than, you really have to flip it around. So this 12 less than part is going to be minus 12. Well, less than what? Less than 12 times the number. 12 times the number, just going to be 12x. So here's your equation. I want everybody to pause it and finish solving that. Okay, so if you solve this on the left side, you see you have to distribute the 6 to both sides, and then you have a normal equation. Subtract 6x, add 12, divide by 6, you end up with x equals 5. Okay, let's look at example H. A triangle with sides and a square have the same, a triangle with equal sides and a square have the same perimeters. The length of a side of a triangle is 2x plus 2. The length of the side of a square is x plus 8. First of all, it says the triangle has equal sides. And what do you know about a square? Squares, all the sides are equal. So if we're labeling our triangle, we know that we're going to have 2x plus 2 on every single side. And the same thing with our square. Every side is going to measure x plus 8. Well, in order to solve this, you have to remember the formula for the perimeter of a triangle and perimeter of a square. Perimeter is just adding all the sides up. Well, instead of saying 2x plus 2 plus 2x plus 2 plus 2x plus 2, we can just say 3, because 3 sides of my triangle, 2x plus 2. Well, the perimeter of the triangle is equal to the perimeter of the square. So pause the video, take a minute, see if you can figure out how to find the perimeter of the square. So the right side, we have 4 sides to a square, and every side is x plus 8. And then we're going to solve. So distribute the 3 to both sides, and distribute the 4 to the right side. And finish solving. We're going to subtract 4x from both sides. 6x minus 4x is 2x. Bring down the plus 6. On the right side, the 4's are gone, but we still have the 32. Subtract 6. 2x equals 26, and divide by 2, x equals 13. Now, you will see questions similar to this pop up, so I would pause the video and examine the questions again and make sure you understand how to set them up and how to solve them. Your homework is 2.4 day 2. Again, if you have any questions, email me or send me a remind text, and I will be back on Monday. Have a good weekend.